What's up, everybody? Metal Dave here, along with my co-host Jason McMaster, bringing you another episode of the Talk Louder podcast. Today, we are joined by Rhino Bucket frontman Georg Dolivo. George is back with a new lineup. They just recently played their very first gig together at the Whiskey in Hollywood. By all accounts, it went very well. George tells us he got a great endorsement from original guitar player Greg, who was in the audience that night. We'll let him tell you the story, but it's a sort of a sign of how things went that night.
Well, Greg and Jackie, who are original members of played on the first Rhino Bucket. So
yeah. So they were in attendance, and we'll let you know what they thought of the show. But by all accounts, it was great. And so we just wanted to catch up with George and see, how this new lineup came together, what the plans are for the future. And you guys got to reminisce a little bit. Jason, of course, has a long, long history with Rhino Bucket. So it was great catching up with him.
Yeah, he is awesome. He's one of my favorite people. And he was at my wedding. And we go way back, and we're not that close, but we always have a good time, and we just have a lot of love and respect for each other. And I love talking to him. The guy, I was just saying off camera, he's like he has like some kind of interesting sort of kung fu about, he has a way about him, and he's very, very honest. And he might pause for a moment and then surf over to another, island for a moment and take you with him. But somehow it's relative. And I've always loved that about him. It's probably why I love his lyrics and just his whole attitude. He's great. Anyway, I'm very happy that Rhino Bucket is on a sort of a new wave, if you will. And, I can't wait to see him again. So it's good to talk to him. Good to catch up with him again.
Yeah, likewise. It was great catching up with him. Rhino Bucket, of course, been around for a long, long, long time. There's a solid legacy there, and this seems to be like the next chapter. I just love seeing you and George get together because the respect you have for each other is obvious. And anyone that's listened to Broken Teeth, you've said it out loud numerous times. Rhino Bucket was a huge influence on Broken Teeth. So
big part of the sound.
Yeah. I love just watching you guys get together because you're definitely birds of a feather. So
yeah.
Georg Dolivo today on the Talk Louder podcast.
How are you doing? How are you, man?
I'm good. I'm better than I was last time we tried this.
Yeah, can we talk about that without it getting too gory? So we were talking to you a couple of weeks ago, and you didn't feel so hot, and you asked us to go, and it was no problem because we always knew that we would get you back. Can you share what went down? You were a little bit stressed out, maybe. You have a new band, and we want to talk to you all about it.
Oh yeah, it wasn't really that. What happened was, I came home, and I was like, okay, I got this podcast. I told my wife. And she goes like, okay, cool. I'll leave you alone. And, she knows of you, Jason. And,
okay. Yeah.
She doesn't know who you are, Dave, but I'm sure she'd like you.
That's funny.
So, and I sat down and I think it was 3 minutes in, I started seeing double vision.
What related to what?
Only red and green. And it ended up being this horrendous flu cold thing. I canceled my participation in the rehearsal later that day, so the three of them got together, which actually kind of worked out because they were able to work out parts. Yeah. And Dave was a champion and did. I wish I had video footage of him doing vocal cues.
Awesome.
That would be such blackmail material. But the other guy said he did great, and I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
And I just laid in bed, and the next day I felt like somebody had hit me all over my neck and shoulders and back with a sledgehammer. It was horrendous. And it went probably a week. and I was hydrating. I was doing all the, I don't like to take medicine. I don't take Dayquil or NyQuil.
Okay.
And and all that kind of stuff, because my doctor a long time ago told me that, well, this was more pertaining to like, if you're going to, expel stuff. He goes, let it get expelled. Your body's taking care of itself.
Right.
Don't take medicine that's going to stop it, because that's really bad. But and then after like and also then the stress kind of kicked in. I was like, hey, I got a gig in 8 days.
Yeah. Well, that's what, well, that was our, I don't mean to speak for Dave, but that was our concern is, dude, he's got a gig with a brand new fucking lineup happening in less than a week now. That's my mind.
I just refocused myself to like, dude, nothing else matters. Just get yourself into battle condition.
So the gig was
it was the last day before the last rehearsal, because we rehearsed the day before the gig.
Okay.
Well, I finally felt like normal, and then we had a great rehearsal, and then the gig went great. And there's some other people around me that got the same thing, and they were just like,
wow,
dick in the dirt, gone.
Wow, terrible.
Yeah, so that was your first gig with a brand new lineup, and it was at the Whiskey, no less. So
December 3rd.
It was on a Friday night, I think.
December 4th.
Okay, we're batting 1,000. The 4th on a Thursday.
It was a Thursday. Okay. Yeah. All right. But I saw some highlights online. It looked like you had a great crowd, and everybody was going on about how awesome it was to see the band in action, and your new guitar player, Harry, who they all know from Shotgun Messiah and whatnot. So tell us, first of all, let's back up a bit. How did this new lineup come together?
Well, what happened was a long time ago, Harry and I can't remember how this came together, but Harry's... of Finnish heritage. I'm a Finn, but I think he was born in Sweden. I never really asked him that, but he definitely grew up and was like in Sweden.
Okay.
And so for some reason we came together. We had this thing called Das Kabal, and we did some, I would say like very well produced by Harry demos, and one of them got into a movie and all that kind of stuff. But then it just never really evolved. But we stayed in touch. And his wife, Teresa, they've been married 34 years, and she's awesome. Wow. She used to be my publicist, or our publicist, at Levine Schneider.
Oh,
so it's like in this circle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So over the years, when things have gotten a little weird, I had once asked Harry, like, hey, look, if I ever need a guitar player. And he said... You don't have to ask twice. I'll always be there. I will help you out. I'll be there for as long as you want me.
Right. Okay.
Which I was like, okay. That's kind of like that secret ace in your pocket.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So, we'll get to the, what the fuck is with this computer? When the things, and we'll talk about the whole thing with Brian and Sean and all that. I called Harry. That's the only person I called. And I said, hey, the time is nigh. Tonight we ride.
Yes.
Call him in favor.
Yeah. And he, and also I don't want to be remiss. Joey, who used to be the bass player and guitar player at times with Circus Fowler.
Yeah.
Came in and just slayed.
Nice.
I mean, he was just like the greatest attitude, and so it was like, and because I was sick, we only had one rehearsal.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, but I'd given everyone enough time to we had sent them. Dave was really good about this, the drummer. Sent them the studio versions and then the live versions because they're different,
Sure. Yeah.
But the what would be the confirmation that I made the right move was that Greg, the original guitar player, and Jackie, the original drummer, came to our gig.
Nice. And, man, a fucking reunion.
It was wonderful. And when
beautiful.
When we came off stage, Greg came up and said to me and Harry, that was the best version of Rhino Bucket I've ever heard.
Oh my God.
Oh.
And, and Harry and I was like, whoa, okay.
Whoa.
And Harry,
that means I'm not saying anything you don't know already, but me as like an uber freaky fan that won't leave you alone about it. That's a big deal, man.
No, that's a big deal. And that thing is that, like I told Greg, those words carry a lot of weight, and that means, and later Harry took me aside and says, like, that meant the world to him.
Yeah.
So it's a great start, it's like, and the reason, I think a lot of it was Rhino Bucket with this lineup is closer to the Rhino Bucket that it was with Greg and Jackie. Because we were always more Rose Tattoo, Angels, and yes, AC/DC.
Right.
And it's kind of morphed because Reeve and Brian had been in this kind of like rock and roll, not blues, man. So it kind of morphed into like this kind of like Rolling Stones kind of vibe, which wasn't us.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say like Rolling Stones, Americana.
Yeah. And so it wasn't really us. So it's like it was like that was just like the icing on the cake for all of us to hear that especially from them. And also Jackie was the same way. And she goes, Jackie can be so devious. She had a beat per minute meter.
Oh no!
In her pocket, right? So
keeping score.
Yeah. Right.
And she goes like, and her and Dave are they're good.
Oh, good.
And she hits it and she looks and she shows it to Greg and goes like, this motherfucker's at 179 without slipping. Wow. An entire song. Yeah. She goes, that's why this is sounding so good. Wow. And then she also...
Dave is good, dude.
No, Dave is great. Yeah. She also took time to explain how the way that Joe interpreted the bass, where like it's not rolling thunder. It's a little bit more like dun, 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 with the pick and like
it's muted.
Drive. We're not rolling through the rolling hills of West Texas. We are barreling down into New York City and gonna blow that fucking shit up. So it was a great experience. It was a great night, and we have other things we're lining up. So
that's fantastic.
Thanks. It's a new lease on life. It's a new. There's an excitement. There's an inertia. I have an excitement.
Yeah. So. Well, I was going to jump in real quick, as I always like to do, and say, as much as I love Reeve, because he's part of the germ. He's part of the bucket that I know.
Yeah.
And I love Brian because just of his complete passion for playing guitar and rock guitar and everything he's done.
Right.
For just being Brian, Damage Foresight, and then so him being in one of my fave bands, not to kiss ass here, but dude, it's like, wow, you got Brian to be in Rhino, but that was a big deal for the world to go, wow, some stepping up going on, and I felt like Greg created the shoes that he had to fill. So you had to get someone like Brian to be where Greg was standing, just to kind of hold the floor down, right? To make sure that,
no, I mean, definitely. The thing is, like, if you really get into the nuts and bolts about it, I'm going to get so much hate mail about this.
Well, you don't have to stir up the hate mail,
No, that's fine. It actually amuses me, and I respond with
that's on you.
Equal hate. So
we're here for you, George.
Yeah, we got you.
No, it's fun.
I was gonna say you guys were a dirtier band when you were coming up. You were your sound was dirtier.
Yeah, no,
than it was with Brian. Yeah.
The thing is that Greg was a good lead guitar player, a really good one, very underrated. But he was also the best rhythm guitar player that, has ever been in Rhino Bucket so far. Terry may change that. And I remember we were in the studio with Terry Manning, this producer who unfortunately passed away last year. And Greg was complaining, George is always behind the beat. And Terry said, yeah, but it's consistent. And that's what's making this sound like a rock band.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now this is where we get to the point where people are going to hate me. Brian is much better lead player than Greg ever was.
Okay.
Greg was really good, but Brian, he brought a lot of magic to that lead playing. But Brian's rhythm playing was not what Rhino Bucket needed. There were parts that I was doing that Greg would do, and now I was doing Greg's parts while trying to sing.
Yeah, okay.
And one of them was going to always suffer.
So I don't see how this would, I mean, I do see how it would garner hate mail, or whatever, but here's the deal. Everyone needs to know, and you just began to explain the full-on differences between what Greg does and what Brian does. They're two different people.
Yeah, it's so
They're there you go. So whatever is giving and taking away from whatever it is, and the the engineers and the producers noticing things. Hey man, stop tape. Let's converse about this, and that's what makes this work how it is right now. So you've had I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 or 8 versions of what it is you're talking about that has anything and everything to do with what's happening stage right.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is, I've been really lucky.
Yes.
It's like I've been blessed with the fact that for whatever, I mean, for fuck's sake, we had Simon Wright in the band for 2 albums, and Dave has been a warrior, and he was actually in Warrior, just like Jackie, which is funny.
Wow, they were both in Warrior, eh?
Well, yeah, there was with Jackie where she was in Warrior, Dave was in Warrior, and there were some other similarities. And Jackie said that, tell Dave to call me, and I'll tell him where he's going to be in 5 years.
Oh shit!
So. No, I mean, it's all, I mean, I'm just excited about the future. And when we talk about hate mail, I've gotten some pretty, but see, I take it to a different thing where I start really fucking around with them. And
that's a good sport.
They say some things which are just so ridiculous, and I'm just like, I'll give you one example to show at what level I will stoop to just because I'm bored and there's nothing on TV.
Wow.
So this guy writes, Brian, Brian was the perfection, blah, blah. You guys suck. Without Brian, you sound like a basement band. You're out of tune, out of time. You're nothing without Brian, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, okay. All right. So what I wrote to him was, were you at the gig? No. Okay, that's cool. Okay. Are you in a band? No. Okay, that's cool. Why don't you go and find the local Thai massage parlor, see if they'll put on a Kick CD for you, and when she starts giving you that neuro massage body on body, you can just close your eyes and pretend it's Brian. And then that'll be your happy place.
And that probably felt right to him.
No, he did not respond well to that. We'll leave it at that. And the thing is, no one understands that I called Brian. They always say, he fired him by text. No, we had conversations. There was so much more to it. But at the end of the day, I was so livid. I said, it was actually my wife, Eva, who said, do not call him. Send him a text and say, this isn't working anymore. And then 2 weeks later, Brian and I had a phone conversation, and Brian said, I wish it wouldn't have happened, but I see where you're coming from, and I see why you're doing it. I told him, yeah, Brian, I love you, but, this is what's happening now.
Yeah.
So it's all good, but people get so caught up, especially Kicks fans. I think they're just pissed that Kicks isn't around anymore.
Yeah, it's easy to lump it in with that because they're not around, and everyone, Brian has his own army. There's people that just love Brian, and but you're not.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say it's one of those things where, I mean, I've been in that situation before where someone prefers this version of the band before this version of the band. Right. And okay, that's whatever, you can't.
You talking about Paul?
No, actually I refer to, Watchtower and
Watchtower. Okay.
When I left Watchtower, there was a lot of people upset. And
the bottom, the two of you are, the thing to remember is at least people care. They're paying attention, right? And it's just like we all have our favorite bands. It's like some people can't handle the Stones without Brian Jones or something,
Yeah, right.
And the deal is, number one, people are paying attention and they're passionate about you, or else they wouldn't express, number one, their happiness or their dissatisfaction because they're trying to share an opinion with you because you matter to them. So, and you had mentioned earlier, George, that you've been really blessed with the various lineups and the guitar players in particular that we're talking about. And to Jason's point as well, once you got a band going and people start coming and going, you're now playing with different ingredients. And some people are going to like the new sound, and some people are going to hang on to what they remember from the previous sound, and they're going to get all argumentative about it or whatever. But you're still out there. It's still a living, breathing entity, and it can't help but sound different as people come and go.
Right.
But you just had a great show at the Whiskey, so people are still interested, and Greg gave you the greatest compliment of all. So
right, and there's other factors like there's age. I mean, I don't sound like I did when I was 24. That's going to change everything, and so like it's all good. And I have to say that the vast majority of the social media input, I would say 98% has been super positive.
Yeah.
And that's great. It's just like,
don't let the 2% get you down, man.
Oh no, it doesn't get me down. It doesn't get me down. The thing is, I'm such a deviant little asshole that it's like, okay, you want to play? Let's play.
You're the guy that trolls back.
Yeah, exactly. But one thing I do want to mention.
Yeah.
And I hope a Kicks fan sees this, and I hope they
will.
That this was never a reflection of Brian as a guitar player or as a human being. But you still have one member, a founding member of Kicks, which Brian was not, still playing in that Kicks country area, Ronnie Yonkins.
Yeah.
So you want to see a member of Kicks?
You can.
Go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how his crowds are doing, but I don't think they're doing that great. I wish they were. Maybe they are. I hope so. But go support. You want to show like that you are the true Kicks aficionado. Then go go buy a T-shirt from Ronnie. He probably will have to show you the one he's wearing because I'm not sure he does merch. But that's a joke. God, I hope it's a joke.
but what you're saying is real, and I feel like there's always going. The legacy of Kicks is not going anywhere, and this is proof of that someone cares enough about it to bother you.
No, absolutely. And, it's a free world, so go for it. And a lot of these messages that just end with like, hey, look, you want to delete me, delete us. It's fine. I don't think we played Kicks country, which is what we call like, Baltimore, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
In like 10 plus years, we do Europe, we do some cruises and all that kind of stuff. So you're not really, I don't want you to be upset because I'm not upset. It's all good. Some people go to Lowe's and some people go to Kohl's. That's just,
Wow.
that's just the way it is.
Hey,
you know?
hey, I want to talk about Harry real quick.
Yeah.
I saw. So he's like he's either a guitar virtuoso type guitar player, like guitar
Absolutely.
whiz kid kind of a vibe, and he's playing in a dirty Stonesy AC/DC rose tattoo bluesy motorheady angry. I'll say dirty again. Yeah, bar band.
Yeah.
And he's playing pub rock, and he's a technical whiz on the fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
So I saw a couple of things that you posted, somebody else posted, that were obviously being thrown at me like telling a bad joke at the laugh stop. And I was blown away by just the little excerpts and clips and things. One in particular is I don't know what the hell you
The
would.
harmonica.
Yes, that you would do the shape of your hands, and what you would even do with your picking hand to make that guitar sound. Like if I would have turned away, I would have thought someone was playing harmonica.
Yeah.
And I watched it 5 times, and I'm going, wait, what is going on? So that's just an example of where and you even have told me, like, Harry, when the solos come, do whatever Harry wants to do.
Yes.
So
Well, so the whole thing, like, my whole thing was like what I was explaining to fans, people that weren't talking crap.
yeah,
They were going like, it's going to be probably a little different. I said, like, look, this is not a revolution.
no,
This is an evolution.
Yeah.
And so
good
we're gonna go with that. And Harry asked me, like, dude, I can play every solo on these albums note for note if you want me to. And I said, no.
with one hand,
Yeah,
apparently.
exactly. So, and I said, no. There's a couple of signature licks. And he goes, yeah, I hear those. I go, other than that, be Harry Cody, because that's who I want. And I want Harry Cody in my band. Now that harmonica thing, I went like, okay, that's pretty fucking amazing. But see, that's the whole thing about it, is that, Harry and I had this great talk, and I said that, and a lot of people disagree with this, but I know it to be true. Guitar virtuosos who can also play, like metal, like Harry can if he wants to, and all that kind of stuff. They all started off as rock and roll guitar players.
Yeah.
So they can do that. But then there are rock and roll guitar players that if you ask them to do metal, their heads would explode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't want to say he's dumbing it down, but he's such a good musician that he's understanding that this is what we're playing now. And that's why I wanted to make sure that he had free reign on those solos. Dude, I don't care if you're doing finger tapping, if you're slapping your balls against it, or like, if it sounds like a train coming down the tracks, you do you, because it sounds fucking great.
Yeah.
I don't want this to necessarily, no, not necessarily. I don't want this to sound like Rhino Bucket did a year ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago. I think we could take this into it. No, we're not going to become Dream Theater, but it's like,
right.
But let's explore this,
Yeah.
with Joe on bass, which is just, he doesn't get enough. He's just so fucking good.
Wow.
In like one rehearsal, how he just hit that bridge between me and Dave, and with Harry, and it's like there's like the spirit of the core, as they say.
Yeah. I love how excited you are about this, man.
Oh yeah, no, I am, because they're excited too, and that causes excitement. And we're all in the general LA area, which helps a lot. which was another reason why certain things didn't work out.
Well, and Brian was kind of coming back to you with that. Look, I don't like it, but I totally understand it, and you got to do this.
Brian's a natural.
Oh yeah, no. yeah. Brian's a natural. Yeah.
Other side of
no, he I don't. I'm sure. I can't speak for him, but he said he understood where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Whether he agreed with it or thought it was the right move, I can't say that. But he understood where I was coming from. So, I think it's like this wonderful opportunity right now to not just fade away doing the same things, but we can do kind of the same. We can still be Rhino Bucket, but let's knock down a little bit of those walls, push them back a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and and have, like, at the end of the day, we all know this to be true. Jason, you know this to be true, and Dave, you do too. We could do fucking symphonic rock, and the minute I start singing, they're going to go like, it sounds like AC/DC.
True. Yeah.
You know? So it's like...
Yeah, I mean, you have a signature voice. There's no doubt about it, for sure.
It's like, okay, well, damn, I wish I was Freddie Mercury. We all do, but
Well, we wouldn't want the songs to be, the song must remain the same. Sometimes it doesn't mean that you can't explore where you are as players with these.
Right. Again, I'm not like, I said earlier, like, not a revolution, but an evolution. It's like,
that's right.
And again, it's like whenever there's more than 4 chords in a song, I'm like, whoa. Let's
sound
rein it in there, Hodge.
Let's reel it in here,
This
Hodge,
sounds so familiar, dude. When Broken Teeth writes a song, we're taking shit out. You know what I mean? We have too much shit going on.
Right.
We'll take out whole parts, and it's like, wait, what was that? Hey, we don't need that in there. I call it trimming get rid of the bananas.
Well,
Keep the meat.
To George's point, you've got new people in the band. They bring new talents to the band. They bring new skills or whatever. And you've been at this for a long time. So number one, you kind of don't want to step on their toes. You want to let them breathe. And number two, once they start breathing, you get excited again, because this is something that's not, necessarily routine. And the routine is classic. I mean, it's always going to be there. You're always going to be able to bust out the songs that people want to hear. So why not, like you said, move the walls out a little bit and see what this other person or these other people.
No, absolutely. I mean, the whole thing is like they were both really, ready to, like, we could duplicate. And I was like, no, that's not what I want. You guys have different personalities. You guys are bringing a different thing to the table. I want to be at this table.
Right.
And I want to, see where it takes us and all that. And I think right now we have, maybe for the first time in a long time, 4 guys that have a very outstanding mutual sense of respect for each other.
That helps.
So, it does. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Reeve? Oh my God. And I look.
He's your brother. I know.
I know.
Yeah.
But it's like at the end of the whole thing, I was like, if I'm in a room with you, one of us is going to die. And, and I don't really care if it's me.
Wow. Things got intense, huh?
That would.
It's a relationship.
I'm not going to speak ill of Reeve.
Right,
no, sure.
I'm not going to speak ill of. And I have nothing to speak really ill of Reeve. It's just, it ran its course. Same with Brian, and Sean. I mean, technically, I did fire Brian in a text. But again, it was because my wife said, do not call him because he will say things that you regret because you love him. And I go, you're right. But we had already talked, and there were situations about gigs that were going to happen and not happen and blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah, things were stewing already, and
yeah, and that didn't really. I mean, I'm not going to get into nuts and bolts about it,
No.
but at the same time, I was like, I just need. I need people to. The most wonderful thing that I heard after all that went down was we were offered this gig, and the money was really bad. But it was a friend that offered it, and I was like, oh, God, I can't do this to the guys, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it is my responsibility to make sure that everyone, gets a
Something.
a decent wage.
something. Yeah.
But when I called Harry and said, like, this is the deal, and I don't think this is a good idea, but I kind of feel like I should maybe do it. And Harry's response was so different from what I had heard from anyone else in so long. Was he just simply said, it doesn't sound like a good idea, but if you want me to do it, I will. And that's when I went like, yeah, you're not. We're not going to do this. But hearing that, I realized that we are on a whole different plane here.
Oh yeah, this sounds like a different business plan without
Yeah.
even trying to draw one up.
Right, and it's like I try, it's I can't. How old are you, Jason?
60.
So am I.
Yeah.
What's your birthday?
March 18th.
I'm August 5th.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Dave?
58.
Youngin. you still got life.
Not by much. Not by much.
Anyway, look, it sounds to me like this is like a beautiful moment for Rhino Bucket, and I want to hold the conch again for a second because I'm such a fan of you, and I'm such a fan. I mean, I could go back and tell stories about the early days and when the toys guys discovered you guys when we were spending time in LA. And how we just wanted to invite you to everything we did and gobble you guys up because we felt like you guys were ours for a moment. Like we had discovered you. I mean, you guys were already, making people's yard die and everything, and we were new to it. But the point is, you guys were a dirty band. You guys sounded angry. And I feel like later on, this kind of similar thing, just bear with me, sounded different because of lineup changes.
Yeah.
And even though I love kicks and I love Brian's guitar playing, I could listen to him just play guitar by himself for 3 hours and be stunned. Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But my Rhino Bucket is my Rhino Bucket, and I don't know if Brian is in my Rhino Bucket. Even though after I just said I'll go see Rhino Bucket, I'll lose limbs and flesh to go see Rhino Bucket in any formation.
Maybe a couple of toes.
Yeah, but anyway, you get it. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's kind of unfair for me to argue with myself about this. So now you have this thing that makes me feel like, it's a rebirth and people are going to always compare it to something else, as I just did. I'm not angry about it because like you could say the same thing about Metallica. Oh, fuck Metallica. They're better with Cliff Burton. You see my point?
Right, yeah.
That's the point I was making earlier.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah. We're saying we're all kind of in agreement there.
Yeah.
So where you're headed now is a happier place and a healthier place in the end. And I'm happy because you guys
thanks.
are.
Well, it's the same thing. It's like I'm so. One of the things that I'm so impressed about Dangerous Toys is that it's you guys. I mean, I know Danny bailed a long time ago, and and
his choice.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. He even told me that himself.
Yeah.
I had a brief conversation with him 140 years ago, and he said, like, I chose to leave. Like, okay, got it. And Paul is wonderful in you guys.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I see that band, and I'm like, wow, how fucking great is that? But it's hard to convince Greg to quit producing Metallica.
Yeah. Well, he's a little busy, and
You can't. Well,
the
he
check's always clear. Yeah.
There's a little bit of a pay cut.
yeah. Well, and it's not even so much about like, well, man, you're just gonna stop playing guitar. It's not even so much that. It sounds to me like he was already. It would be the same thing as someone, and I have experience with this with one of your bandmates. You know, dude, I got a family. I have to go to trade school. I've got to do something different. And I'll be involved in music, but to me, it's the same thing. Greg just produces Metallica.
No, so what, I mean, I can't completely speak for Greg, but
no,
Greg
I'm not trying to.
Greg, no, I know. Yeah. Greg was always like, him and I were the driving force of Rhino Bucket in the early days, and we would wake up we lived together in Hollywood. Not together, but
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Are you sure?
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, I know. But every morning we'd wake up, and Greg would make a cup of coffee, and I, have a beer, and then we would call our manager and say, what can we do for the band today? And Greg was a driving force behind that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He was a driving force between, getting me to get my shit together so we can get signed and all that kind of stuff. So when the second Warner Brothers album didn't do as well as the first, and, well, they went kind of equal, but the third indie album didn't do, it did all right. Then I saw in Greg's eyes that he was out.
Yeah.
Because he was going to, and he went like a warrior. He went to Sound City when it was still there, got a job as a second engineer, worked his way up, started working with Dave Sardo, did, Slipknot and all that. I don't even know, and all that. And now he's there. Because he's like the most driven person in the world.
Yeah.
And he was great to me.
Yes.
Just great. It was a great learning lesson and a great partnership. And we're still friends.
Yes.
And that's the miracle there where you're like, all right,
Now that you tell me,
I've known you for I don't know how many years, but
35, 40 years.
Oh, yeah. We met in Valley College studying classical guitar together.
Wow.
So that's probably 40 years, yeah.
90? Is that 90? 30, 88, maybe?
Now that you tell me about, about his personality, it makes perfect sense that he's working for Metallica. Obviously, he sounds like he's very ambitious and very driven, and he's good at it. He's got talent.
He's super talented. That thing is.
Yeah.
And also when we probably had the best 4-track cassette demos in LA ever made by Greg.
Yeah. Yeah.
With remember those little machines, Jason, where you put a cassette in there and you.
May I again?
And you would bounce down tracks. Yeah.
So the new Dangerous Toys record came out today, and
oh wow,
8 of the songs on it are exactly what you talked about: Tascam, 4-track, Fostex. Yeah. They were recorded on that because it's a demos album. It's old demos, and and I guarantee we were not as good at it as Greg was. So
I'm guessing few people were or are. Yeah.
Well, just going.
No, but I love the title is Demolition, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put out. This is a long time ago. We put out. Some of it was demos, some of it was live, and all that kind of stuff. Greg had found a bunch of stuff, and I swear to God, he sweetened it up because it was like, I don't think I played guitar that well. But we call it no song left behind.
Oh yeah. Okay. I might have that.
I think I do have that.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. No,
Well,
I mean, the musical, like if you're in it for the music, and we all, as musicians and anyone who's involved in music, we all do what we have to. I have a day job.
well, don't we all?
Right. You know, and I have no problem with that because we do what we do to be able to continue to do what we love.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so I mean, the fact that we're here still, you know, it's like, who knew?
You know, here's the thing. I don't even think about that thing that you just brought up. Like, wow, we're still here. Who knew? I can't believe this. I don't even think like if I stop and go, wow, I'm 60 and I'm still trying to squeeze into tight pants and scream in a microphone. What the hell is that? What the hell is that doing for anybody, especially me? You know. So anyway, talk amongst about whatever that is. But you know, yeah, we are still here. It's correct.
But the thing is, like you either I've met so many people who, and this is not Greg or anyone that was in a band, but who like said that, like, you know, yeah, I'm going to do this, and if it doesn't work out, I'm going to go work for my dad's, you know, brokerage company and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, you should probably just go now.
Yeah.
Because
that's right.
Because I'm going to, you know, I don't care if I'm living in a cardboard box under a fucking bridge. I'm always going to do this.
Yeah.
Because this is, and it's not an ego thing. This is what defines me. This is what gives me happiness.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to do it because like when the opening chords of One Night Stand start, like at the Whiskey at the last gig, and I could hear Harry, and then I heard Dave and Joe come in. I went like, this is my happy place.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's mine too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything else, you know, whatever I have to do, I don't care. But this is my happy place.
Yes, it is. I love it so much.
Bring us up to date now. You know, you've got a new lineup. You just played a gig. What are your immediate plans, if there are any, in terms of, you know, for starters, more gigs, and maybe a little further down the line, writing and recording? Have you given?
Well, I mean, part of there are some gigs lining up right now, but they're sporadic, and then 2027 seems to be a little bit more filling up, which is unfortunate, but when something like that happens, you have to take advantage of the fact that you have time. And I would love to do another album. We're still on acetate, kinda.
Okay.
I think everybody's on acetate, kinda. And I love acetate. Don't get me wrong. They're putting
I know.
Great stuff.
You know, Rick's a great guy and all that kind of stuff, but you know, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get it. What I did is, like 2 years ago, I wrote a bunch of songs, and then I just put them away for 6 months, and then I went back and listened to them, and I said, wow, those are good songs, but they're not Rhino Bucket songs.
Okay.
So like those, trash bin, you know, the universe will take those riffs and give it to somebody else.
Okay.
That's totally cool. I'm totally cool with that.
Man, that's some good kung fu. That shit you just said right there. That's good kung fu right there, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that,
because most people would think, oh, well, if George is singing on it, it sounds like Rhino Bucket. And you're saying that that's not true.
No.
Wow. Isn't that interesting?
There were some demos that had some massive sync problems from back in the day. And I was just like, I want to keep everything clean. And like, I share everything with the band. Well, whoever's in the band. So like, let's say we do a album this year, which I really, really, really need to do. And let's say we do 12 songs. You need 10 for the proper publishing splits. But let's say we do 12. So that's 3 each. But let's say that I ended up writing 9 of them. And it's not because I insisted on writing 9 of them. It's just like out of the pool, it became 9. I still split everything 25, 25, 25,
Yes.
25. Because they're making the commitment of their time and their life. So it keeps it democratic. And I hate resentment. I've seen so many bands that were pretty good where all of a sudden one day, one of them freaks out. It's like, you didn't put my song on the album and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, and then you hear the song and you're like, well, it's pretty fucking obvious. But,
Yeah. That's an age-old story too. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
it's part of it's part of the family dinner discussion in every band. So
Yeah.
So where are you with potential new Rhino Bucket stuff? If the songs you had recorded didn't fit the mix, then have you been writing?
Well,
with
the old
Rhino?
demos would fit the mix, but and especially because they were more aggressive. But it would become really complicated in songwriting and master sync rights with that. So it's just the thing is like most people would go like, well, we got to figure this out because it's what we got. But I'm a songwriter, so I'll just write other songs.
Right. Okay.
yeah.
And I'm not going to try to go and gold mine those songs. I'll just write other songs, and I'll ask everyone else to write other songs, and we'll take it from there.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this while I have the thoughts in my head. When you're in a situation like you currently are and you have new players come into the band and you say, I'm just going to write another song because I'm a songwriter and that's what I do. Does the fact that you have new players in the band influence your songwriting? Like, do you go, this would sound really good because this guy is good at that, or this guy brings
Oh no, I do skeletons.
or is it all George all the time?
No, I do skeletons.
You do skeletons, and
Yeah, so it's like there's I'll have if the lyrics aren't complete, I'll have the melodies complete, and I'll do the chords will be there, but then I want to bring the whole band in,
right?
and because I'm not Sting when I show up with the demos like this is what the song's going to be, it's like
Right.
screw that, because that gives them the opportunity, because a lot of people they'll look at a. And I don't know about these guys, maybe they won't, but in the past I've noticed that they'll look at a blank canvas and they'll go, it's overwhelming. I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
But you hand them like, well, here's this garage band shitty drum track. Here's the main kind of riff and chords. Here's what I'm singing. Now let's see what we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
And that, opens up input.
That's the push. Yeah.
And also you have to be the hardest thing is for people who haven't written a lot of songs is rejection. I've had more songs rejected than I've written. By band members, by record companies, by management, by my wife, which is like, if you put that out,
it's over.
Your car is mine.
You're sleeping on the couch.
Oh no. sleeping in a hotel room paying for a lawyer. So yeah, I mean, and you don't have to get a tough skin about it. You just have to accept it. It's like, that's the creative process.
Yeah.
Not every book that you write is going to be the great American novel.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
And not every song you write is going to be, worthy of let's play it live. Every now and then you strike gold. That's great.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay. So writing kind of maybe slowly but surely, and possibly an album in 2027, although you'd like one in 2026. Is that kind of?
Yeah, no, I mean, the goal is to have one now, because the business reality, again, I'm way too honest about this shit. The business reality is that we make a lot of money in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But to go to Europe, I have deals with merchandising companies that are great. They're on spec. I have a touring company that's great, Teenage Head Music. But I need to have an album.
Right.
because it drives merch sales. It doubles them, sometimes triples them.
Right.
So we did one a number of years ago without an album, sold out a bunch of shows, did really good on merch, but we would have probably not doubled, but like 1.5 times had we had an album. So now the reality is that we have to have an album.
Okay.
Because I really think, I mean, I love American. I refuse to tour anywhere there's no 7-Elevens, but apparently there's 7-Elevens in Germany now. So.
Oh yeah, right next door to McDonald's.
Exactly.
What is it about 7-Eleven?
In the castle.
What's the
left? Like this thing. To your left is a 14th century castle that was Ludwig the 14th. And on the bottom floor is a McDonald's and Starbucks.
Yeah, and they serve vegan. They have a vegan menu. I'm not even kidding. They have like the fake chicken and everything.
What happened to Bavaria where the only thing you could eat was a pig's leg?
Donuts, right? Aren't they known for their donuts? Bavarian donuts?
Pretzels.
Pretzels.
Okay. Right.
But they also have this pig's leg. It's like that, and it's amazing. And you just don't have to think about it too much, because like if you start visualizing this little pig walking around with 3 legs, you're going to be like, but this is not good.
Wow.
What I wanted to ask you, you made you alluded to it earlier and kind of almost made a joke about it, but it's obvious to everybody that you are a huge AC/DC fan.
Yeah.
It's reflected in your music, and we love you for that. But I wanted to know, when was the first time you ever saw? Do you remember your first AC/DC concert?
Okay, this is a 2-parter.
Okay.
I was always a bigger fan of Rose Tattoo because they were a gang.
Okay.
And the Angels because they were theatrical, and they were a little bit more poppy, because I'm a little poppy. If you listen to One Night Stand, the bridge is poppy. Didn't light your fire, baby. But I loved AC/DC. There's no denying that. I saw them maybe for those about to rock tour in the Forum in Inglewood.
Okay.
The peak of their powers at that.
That's
But
good.
it was already. No, it couldn't have been that, because it was Brian Johnson. I never saw Bon Scott.
Brian's on.
For those about to rock.
About to rock, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think that might have been it.
That's pretty good. I was just
you saw Brian before a lot of people. That's only the second record with Brian. So
yeah. No, they were great, and we did a tour with the Angels, and they were, especially the singer Doc, rest in peace. It was funny because when we landed in Australia, we did a month with them. It was the Angels, us, Angel City in America, us, and the Poor opening up.
Oh, nice.
And we had this like welcome Rhino Bucket dinner, and everyone's like sitting there, and they're like all freaked out. I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, well, Doc can be a little abrasive. And I'm like, okay. And then it was this lovely, her name was Kwani. She was from New Zealand. And she was they had multiple tour managers. And he was like, don't worry, because if Doc shows up, it can be abrasive. But if Bernard, his real name, shows up, you're going to have a great night. So, Doc was tall.
Mm-hmm.
And like just imposing. And he walks up and he grabs me like just by the shoulders, rubs my hair and goes, "Hey, George, I'm Bernard. How you doing?" And that was beautiful. And he was a gentleman and took care of me the whole time.
There you go.
Perfect.
Off to a good start.
Yeah.
Hey, another oddball question I wanted to ask is, you play Paul Reed Smith guitars, don't you?
You have 1, 2?
I have. Well, I just got. Okay, so here we go. I just got this sucker.
Love it.
Okay.
78 Rosewood. It was a gift for my birthday.
Gibson Les Paul for
That's
people
yeah.
listening and not watching.
That's the reason I asked the question is because based on your style of music, I find it interesting because you don't see a lot of Paul Reed Smith in straight up rock bands.
This is the Paul
There
Reed.
you go. That's the workhorse, right?
Yeah, this is it's a prototype. So I got it from Paul Reed Smith himself. But see, I was smart. I needed a
Don't tell anyone.
This is going to be
They would never believe me anyway.
People are going to watch this, George. So
Yeah, they're not going to believe me.
all three of them.
So I walked into the PRS factory, and I had Brian on my left, and he had known Paul since Paul was working out of his garage.
wow.
And then I had Simon Wright on my right, and Brian goes to Paul, "Hey, you know what? George needs a guitar. Do you have any hollow bodies? Because I used to love hollow bodies, right?" And Paul goes like, "No, but I have this." And that's the guitar I showed you.
Wow.
It's chambered,
Right.
which means it looks like a solid body, but the insides have been carved out, so it's like a hollow body. And it's a prototype, and it sings. And then I have, everyone's got to have a Billy.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen actually all of those before.
But here's one which you haven't seen, which is going to be comical.
Well, the Les Paul is new to me. Oh wow.
This is a Epiphone Les Paul Jr. Tito's vodka.
Ah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And
You got to deal with Tito's?
no. The funny thing is, I guess they did some promotion a long time ago. It used to be signed, but it wore up. And it's made me kind of question like where I'm spending my money, because the local liquor store found out that I was a musician, and they said like, "You know what? You spend enough money here. We have this guitar we got 3 years ago. You want it?" And they gave it to me, and at first I was like, "Oh, that's great. You know, just a little fuck around guitar. I would never play it live." That. Then I started thinking, how much money do I really spend with you guys? You just gave me a $300 guitar. I may have to switch to juice.
Makes you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious what drew you to Paul Reed Smith, because I don't see a lot of them in straight up hard rock bands. Maybe it's just me, but I always see.
No, it was that one guitar.
Yeah. Okay.
I had other Paul Reed Smiths because we had a relationship. Brian and I were both PRS artists. We are no longer.
Okay.
But we were. So
you played a Les Paul back in the early days.
Yeah, but you know how fucking much those things weigh?
Yeah, that'll hurt your back, man.
That's one of the reasons I asked.
I'm gonna need a back brace.
Yeah, yeah.
And like Circle the Soul, holding me up. No.
Do you have any plans? Do you have any? Go ahead.
So like the PRS, it's that. I remember Brian, when I first played it, and Brian was like, "That thing sings," because it's chambered. They got it right, and they had given it to some blues artist. I can't remember his name. Brian always knew, like Coben, I don't know, whatever. And he didn't like it, which is like, really? So that would be the only PRS I've ever played that I really liked for like what we play.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm going to eventually, I don't know, work my way back up to that Les Paul, because there's something about, because I got a JMC 800 2205 dual lead series, and with that and the Les Paul, that's the Ford 1 F50 of rock and roll.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong. it's,
Yeah.
in your mind, you're thinking, what does rock guitar sound like? That's it.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the Paul Reed Smith, because I would.
It's damn close.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know it was chambered, and I didn't know you got it because you walked in with a friend of Paul Reed Smith's and a rock drummer from AC/DC.
and a guitar player from Kicks. Yeah.
And I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Well, we just argued about this, didn't we?
Because had I just walked in, Paul was going like, "All right, George, here's our Korean knockoff model."
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's that, and then you got, hey, we got this guitar with this big sticker on it selling liquor. Here, take this. Yeah. Hey, Uncle George. It's Uncle George tells a story. Tell us a story about David Roach and how he did backup vocals with Rhino Bucket in the studio once. Is that true?
Yes.
Tell us that story. I mean, I know the story, but I want to hear you tell
Rest
us.
in peace.
Yes. Yes.
That picture of the three of us is legendary.
I get emotional when I look at it. It's on my phone, but I have to keep scrolling or I start to freak out.
Dave, I don't know. There's a picture of.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's black and white.
Yeah.
And I think you're in the front, and then
I'm like in the back, in the middle, and then Jason and Dave are kind of.
Okay.
There's the three of us.
That was taken in the pig alley on the boat.
So
I've seen it. Yeah.
I have a lot of Dave stories. Which one did you want?
I want the one about how, hey, Dave, we're in the studio and I need some backing vocals. Can you come over and sing some backup?
What I needed him to do was, I called him up because we needed a different voice.
Right.
To but he was doubling me on I think it was a pre-chorus. I think it was a pre-chorus, and then he did some background vocals also. Really good singer, and he was so gracious. He showed up, and I remember his commenting to me. He said, like, "You write weird things to sing to." Which I could say the same to him because the phrasing, because our idea of phrasing are
really
are like totally different. And he nailed it, but he kept laughing. He goes like, "How'd you come up with this shit?" And then I was like, "Dave, what can I get you? What can I pay you? I mean, like, come on, thanks. You came all this way. It was in the valley." And he goes, nothing. And so we got him a little half pint, but he nailed it. And he sounded so good. It was funny because the producer was like, "Hey, do you think he wants to sing some more?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think he wants to sing anything. I don't think he wanted to sing this."
Yeah. Can you tell us?
Song is he on?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, God, I don't remember.
Was it Sun Goes Down? Was it?
No, it was on Pain, the third album.
Oh, all right.
Fuck.
Probably in the credits somewhere.
Yeah. So, because I remember it was like, it could have been World Gone Mad, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's weird phrasing there. It's like it's staccato phrasing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember. Oh, Dave.
Yeah, he's missed. He had a birthday yesterday or day before ago. Yeah.
How's his wife doing?
Don't know. Saw her and family members at the wake that we were at, and don't know. I mean, she's posting on social media. She's still heartbroken,
Of course.
So, yeah.
But thank God he had her.
Oh man.
Well, and that was
the recurring theme at the memorial service. That we heard that so many times.
Yeah.
Everybody agrees with you on that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he needed somewhere to land, and I mean that in a spiritual way.
Yeah.
And she helped him find that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
yeah. Well, I wanted it.
It's a weird thing because there's people you look at and you can see, and not to sound morbid, but you can see the shadow of death following them.
Mm.
And you're like, okay, yeah, you're not long for this world. But I never saw that with Dave. I thought, dude, you are going to out-fucking live me. No questions asked.
Yeah, well, even when he was down, his sense of humor was always up. He was you know what I mean? You never, that was one of the things about him is, I mean, we all know he had some pretty rough, hard times, but I don't remember ever hearing him bitch or moan or complain. No. It was just, he met everything with, at the worst case scenario, he'd, have something sarcastic to say, but it was never, it was never complaining or woe is me or anything like that, No.
And I had some private conversations with him about some of the stuff he had gone through with his parents and with his family that was like pretty fucking rough. And he, he rose above it.
Yeah.
And then it was nothing that they did to him. It's just stuff that happened.
Right.
That he had to deal with. But, they were good parents. No one ever, it was, I didn't mean to insinuate that. I came out wrong.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so.
I mean, that was another thing that was echoed that day was how supportive the family was. And, it was a beautiful day for a beautiful man for sure. So
anyway, I just wanted to hear you, Uncle George, talk about David Roach and a good time.
Oh, I remember. I remember we, me and Dave always had a weird relationship where it was like we were cool with each other and all like that, but there was that, not on my part, but like a little bit of that lead singer rivalry, like which that Jason, you and I have never had.
No,
and there was a little bit of that, and also the best friend I had in Junkyard was Brian Baker, which probably didn't endear me to the rest of the band.
maybe not.
So
wild card, yeah.
Yeah, no, Dave, he had a wonderful sense of humor.
Yeah, he did. He's going to be remembered and celebrated for certain. George, this has been really fantastic. I could talk to you about so many different sort of like on different levels about different things. I love you so much. Like
I love you too.
Yeah, man. And
we're glad to see you doing well. And and awesome that the band had a great debut. And we're looking forward to seeing more. I hope you get to Texas, but I know how expensive touring is these days. But we're long overdue for a Rhino.
Oh, we'll just get on a Greyhound with a couple of guitars and
sure,
and go like.
I got amps.
Broken Teeth will have your back line.
Bruce has a drum kit. Just come over. Let's just have a gig at Bruce's house.
There you go.
Wouldn't that be?
That would be great. Yes.
A backyard burn down.
Oh man, set up down by the creek, go fishing, play some rock and roll.
Set up some kegs.
Barbecue, absolutely.
Yeah. Barbecued bass.
Oh my God.
Sounds delicious.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Well, George, thanks for joining us and bringing us up to date. We appreciate it. We're happy that the Rhino Bucket is back and the new lineup is kicking, and we'll look forward to more from you in the very near future. On behalf of my co-host, Jason McMaster, I'm Metal Dave, along with our special guest today, Georg Dolivo from Rhino Bucket on the Talk
Thanks, guys.
Podcast.